Alright, let's talk about these JoyToy Space Marine 2 figures, Brother Chairon and Lieutenant Titus. I've seen the hype, I've seen the promo shots, but how do they actually hold up when you get them in hand? Okay, first thing is sculpt and paint. JoyToy knows how to do Space Marines, the armor's got weight, the proportions don't look goofy, and the paint is sharp and crisp. Both these figures look like they stepped off screen and into your hand. One of my only gripes with this though is they didn't include battle damage. I feel like battle damage would have sealed the deal on these figures even more, especially depicting how they looked in the game. They had scars and everything all over them because in that sequence they didn't have time to go get their armor patched up. More specifically, I think Titus should have had the most battle damage we've ever seen. I understand why they didn't do it because they want to reuse these molds. This could have been refreshing to the line to see battle damage on figures out of the box. At least they did capture how he looked in the game with the tunic and the purity seals. Everything looks how he looked in the game, which is pretty nice. Okay, here's the deal. Both figures come with the exact same amount of accessories. I do really like how they included the jump packs for both. It gives way more display options, but I do wish there was something unique to each character. Like maybe Titus could have came with a power hammer that we see him use in the game and in certain statues and media. The sculpt and paint do deliver on these because they look like the jump packs they found in the game. They also did include some red detail inside the thrusters. I think is a really nice touch. Something that small could have easily been overlooked, so it's cool to see it here. You also do get leg option parts because what would this whole jump pack be without the leg thrusters? It's the same for Titus and Chairon. I do quickly want to show how this attaches. It's a really simple process. It pegs in the same spot as a regular backpack. The kit attaches securely and the thrusters are hollow so they don't throw off the weight on the figure too much. You can actually pull off some decent poses with the thruster pack. I like how this thruster is also adjustable. That's a nice touch. Another thing they could have easily just not put in. One of the cool things I like about this jump pack set is it offers options. Also swaps on the body really easily. This could have easily been an overcomplicated thing, but it's just pegs and it pops right on. If you want to have these guys flying across your room, you could do that too. Here are the heads for Chairon and Titus. Now Chairon's sculpt has a bit more character to it. All the scarring and attitude you get from the game, it shows up here in the sculpt. Titus's face is kind of mid. It's not bad, but it's not Titus. It feels very generic. I don't know, it needs more attitude to me. Here are both sculpts on the body, and I do want to point out they do look a bit small. I understand they're wearing helmets, but to me they look a little small, especially Titus. It could be that these are just bigger than the regular JoyToy, but they look kind of small. Let me know in the comments. Quick note on the helmets, they did leave space in them for LED kits, so if you want to get some, you can make it happen. And now for accessories. Titus comes with 2 grabby, 2 trigger, 2 fisted hands. Same thing with Chairon. Although one is metal, he does come with the same styled hands, fist, trigger, and grabby hands. For weapons, both figures come with the exact same loadout. You get 1 heavy bolter, 1 pistol with the exact same sculpt, 1 chainsword, which is pretty famous at this point, and both come with pouches to mimic holsters. Swing right over into articulation. This is where JoyToy stepped it up a bit. Shoulder pads are on this new swivel design that actually lets you move the arms without fighting the armor. No more pauldron versus pose battles. These guys can raise their arms, aim the guns, and swing the swords without the usual Space Marine limitations. Big upgrade from the older figures. It's not 100% a new thing for JoyToy. They usually put this type of articulation on Terminators. The smaller guys are stuck with this peg flap situation that goes around the shoulder like some Marvel Legends. Hopefully you can see from the poses I executed with these that the articulation is really great. They do have double jointed knees and elbows, which is standard for JoyToy, which is pretty great at this scale, I might add. They could have easily made these things single jointed, especially based on how big the armor is. But the fact that you can pose this thing how you want is pretty great. And they look really good together. I'm not getting Galadriel because he's a hoe. Now for size comparisons, one really weird thing is these guys are bigger than the older JoyToy Marines. They're not a ton bigger, but if you have OCD about scale, then that might be annoying. Are these officially like Primaris scale now? Do you think they're going to go back to the old scaling for other figures? Let me know in the comments. I also want to put this next to some regular scale figures. So here's some 6-inch, 7-inch, some closer to 5-inch, a custom, some SHF or CT toys, some Mythic Legions, and some 304 scaling. Final thoughts on these is if you really love Space Marine 2, I say grab them all, even Gadriel's whole ass. But if you're looking for a definitive Space Marine, I would probably avoid these given the scale because these are way bigger than the original ones. You can see he absolutely towers over a Blade Guard veteran, which is not a bad thing. You'll just have to buy like 30 more of these Space Marines to make them equal. Even though the eyes don't light up out the box, these are some of JoyToy's best Space Marines. The sculpt is killer, the new shoulder articulation is a game changer, and they just feel premium. If you're collecting JoyToy 40K figures, these are easy to recommend. I will have a link in the description directly to both of these if you want them, or if you want any other 40K figures that Bigbadtoystore has in stock, the link will be down there for you. While these new figures do look great, there are other ones that also look fantastic, and I think this one looks really good too.